I'm Professor Allworth. We're going to be talking to some students today who are the recipients of Allworth Fund scholarships in the STEM fields. These students are incredible. Today we're going to meet Lily Hall. Hi, Lily.
Hi, nice to meet you.
You too. So let's go back to when you were in high school, right? What high school you attended and how the whole Allworth Scholarship Fund came across your radar and what that experience was like for you. Let's start there.
Yeah, so I actually went to Southridge High School, which is a kind of small high school about like 40 minutes out of Duluth. And as I think a lot of the Allworth base is in Duluth, so it was on our counselors had a list of scholarships. So I was going through scholarships I think 11th grade, looking for ones to apply, and I knew I wanted to do science, so the STEM part of the Allworth one kind of caught my eye. And my sister, who's 2 years older than me, had also got it, so I knew I was going to try to apply for the ones she had applied for since we have similar interests. So that's kind of how I got started on it for applying, I guess.
So let's talk a little bit about the kind of science you want to do specifically. Are you looking at, clearly you have an interest in biology. Is that animal-based, marine-based? What is that?
Yeah, so I'm actually really interested in mammalogy partially because of the study organisms. I like a lot of ungulates, so herbivore mammals like deer or moose, and also the the predator-prey relationships. But interestingly, all I've done in college is kind of fish, so aquatic science. Okay. I love all biology, but I think mammals are my thing, but I've had so much fun researching. I've done things with invasive round gobies. They're a small fish that kind of looks a little bit more like a frog than a fish sometimes.
Okay.
But
I was going to ask you what a round goby was, yeah. So I'm glad you got to that.
And they're really cool. They're invasive, so they're not cool and good, but they're a really interesting organism to study because the reason they're so detrimental is because they're just so adaptable. They can migrate and infiltrate an area and spread really easily, and then they also have such a wide range of types of water they can survive in, whether it's salinity or fresh water as well. So it's hard because it's not, you kind of have to look at it, you think, oh, we need to eradicate these, they're invasive, but then you see the organism for what it is as well, and you realize the real problem comes with we have to somehow mitigate humans introducing all of these species. That's what it comes down to. So I'm interested from that too with invasive species management. That's why I know I like mammals, but you never really want to say no to any opportunities that come your way because you'll always learn something from them, and you might find that maybe you like them better than what you had originally thought you liked. Yeah. Yeah. So I've kind of just ran with it, and my mentor is amazing. So if you can find a mentor that will be able to help you and show you kind of the way in science.
Is that the biology professor?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, he has a neural behavior lab, and the study organisms is mostly fish. And I like field research, so I wasn't really sure if it was going to be a good fit, but I just love that I've joined that lab because I've learned so much, and like I say, all of the opportunities that have come my way, I've had so much fun just exploring the different science. And even though, like I say, it's a slightly different field than what I would like to end up in, you still learn about the scientific process, you still figure out how to problem solve, you still figure out that give yourself a lot more time to do things because it will not go right the first time. And there's a lot of back and forth. You need to make sure you have your stuff done. Is that the internship that you're going to have this summer? In Woods Hole, I'm supposed to be looking at the development of hearing in sharks and skates. It's a very precise setup. We have to play different sounds at different frequencies, so you have to control the sound of you have to control the volume of the sound, the frequency of the sound. You have to record the sound on a hydrophone. You have to anesthetize the fish and have electrodes to pick up the brain's response to the fish. You have to have 2 or 3 boxes to modulate just kind of electrical noise and things, and then you have to have the computer to have the input coming in, then you have to have the tank with the speaker, and then you also have to have the hydrophone in there. The hydrophone records sound. Wow. So it's a big setup, and wow. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And the equipment is just amazing with how how like little of response from the fish that you can detect. It's really cool. Like, 'cause I didn't really think I'd enjoy any of like the kind of internal physiology research, but I'm having so much fun with this.
So it sounds like research is kind of your specific area of interest.
I just love research, and it just excites me. I love, like I said, asking the questions and just figuring out things and learning more is just so much fun. It just like checks all of my boxes, I guess. And so if you're someone who likes, if you're curious, you like learning, if you kind of enjoy frustrations in solving them, because there's a lot of frustration, but it's the reward that comes after, like, okay, well, that didn't work.
After the bad
but
part.
I'm gonna have to, try a couple things, try to figure out this, try to figure out that, and when it comes together, you just feel good about yourself, and it was all worth it, and you had a lot of fun. And yeah, I think you can tell if you're working in it, if it's for you or not. That's why the best way you can do is, instead of just deciding, I might not like that, just try it. And if you don't like it, you'll know right away. And if you like it, you'll know right away as well, and you'll just want more.
Well, that was actually going to be one of my next questions was, what if you could give some advice to a 9th or 10th grader who was maybe thinking about what they wanted to do and what they could explore? What would you tell them?
Yeah, so if you're a little bit interested, I would explore it, because if you have something that you're interested in, reach out, because like I say, so many people want to help, and what I've heard a lot from people I've talked to is everyone's had people help them in their career, and they want to give that back. So if you want to reach out and say, I'm kind of interested in this, like, what do you do? So many people are looking for, they're looking to help you. Or if you're interested in research or like STEM, if your school has a science fair, do that. Pick a project that you're kind of interested in. You're going to learn so much about it, and it's probably going to be fun. Even if you have a lot of frustrations, it'll still be worth it. It'll be a lot of fun.
So don't be shy,
Yeah.
You're saying. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask.
It is kind of awkward, but you just have to accept that. And that's like the one hurdle to possibly finding what you might want to do with the rest of your life.
Yeah, so it's worth the risk, because you never know when you might stumble on the magic thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Talk a little bit about what the Allworth Scholarship did for you in terms of taking some worries off your plate about school.
Yeah, well, so yeah, I think one of the things I'm the most grateful for is, while I've gotten some funding for the research, it doesn't always pay well. A lot of it is volunteer work if you're not directly in a program. So if I didn't have the Allworth Scholarship helping me with paying, because I don't have a job outside of my research, and I barely have enough time to do my schoolwork as it is, and I'm also on the UMD track team, so that takes up a lot of time. And like I say, the research, it's amazing how much time you can devote into it to do a good job and do the literature searches. And I know that if I had to also have a job to be able to pay for my rent or food and tuition, I wouldn't have enough time to be involved in all of this research. So I'm really thankful for the Allworth Scholarship for just kind of taking off that part of my stress. There's still a lot of stress in college, but I know a lot of my friends who have, you have to make tough calls sometimes to say, I can't do this because I need to work to pay for college. And I've just really been fortunate to be able to do the things I really love, which, like I say, like track and research, and still to be able to pay for my tuition and rent. And having the Allworth Scholarship is one of the reasons that that's possible.